Okay, class, please take out your journals. So today we'll start with the lists. So please start writing in your journals. What will we learn today? We'll firstly learn about what lists are, what is the concept of lists in Snap and in the programming languages itself, and then how do we identify scenarios in which we can use these lists.
All right, Mr. Dimmer, I think we're good.
Okay, awesome. So what are we gonna do today is we're just gonna write an algorithm today, so we won't write any program. So you remember the peanut butter jelly algorithm that we wrote in the first class?
Yes.
We're just gonna do something similar to that. So we'll take an example of highway signatures. Have you read signs like this on roads?
No.
No? Okay, can anybody try to read what's written here? What's the message here? Yeah, so it's written backwards, right? Highway engineers think I read backward. So essentially on the roads, how we write the signs, it's written backwards so that when you approach, you read the first letter and then you read the next letter and so on, right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to write an algorithm to write messages in the backward manner. So take this example and let's see how do we write don't drink and drive. Let's assume you have one word to write in one line. What would be the message we need to write on a highway if we have to write this? Can we say for don't drink and drive and drink don't?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? That would be the order. And for drive slowly, it would be what?
Slowly
Drive. Absolutely. So let's write an algorithm of how would we write a message. Assume you have a stop sign at the very beginning of the road, which means the last letter should align with the stop sign, and then you're writing one word per line.
Mr. Dimmer, you want them to write down which blocks to use?
No, don't worry about the blocks at this point in time. Just write the algorithm. Just write it in plain English. What would it mean to translate the message and write it down in a backward manner?
All right, 30 seconds. 30 seconds for you to finish. Anybody need more time? All right, we're finished, Mr. Dimmer.
Awesome. So, does anybody want to volunteer and tell me what's the algorithm they've written?
All right, Gordy, roll out.
It says don't drink, and on the left side it says and on the right side it says drive, and on the top it has the stop sign.
Okay. And how do you make sure that the message is starting, the drive and in drive is coming at the stop sign?
Can I repeat the question again, please?
So how do you make sure that the and drive text is coming in par with the stop sign? So as we mentioned, the stop sign, if let's assume the stop sign is here, how do you make sure that and drive is aligning with the stop sign?
The coordinates.
Sorry?
What's coordinates?
Coordinates? Yeah, you can do that. So let's say if my stop sign is here. Here is my stop sign, but this and drive, if I start from here, and drive is aligning very below my stop sign, right? So how do I make sure this, I'll start writing here and drive, and don't comes at a point where it actually should be. It's like 2 lines up, and how do I make sure that this is the number of lines I need to write? So, are you getting the problem? So, if you start with don't, if you start writing with don't, then the problem is, then you don't know how many lines you need, and then you're writing and you might not reach the stop sign, or you might just cross the stop sign. Like, for example, if I'm writing like this, if I start with don't, then, you know, if I say, if I start writing where I don't know how many lines I need. I start writing here, and then all of a sudden I've crossed the stop sign and I'm still writing, right? What I want to make sure is at this stop sign I'm writing my last text, which is and drive, and everything else is coming down. Does this make sense?
Yeah, we can fix that.
So how do I make sure that the stop sign, it aligns with the stop sign? Is there a way I can count the number of rows ahead of time? Yeah, how can we do that? Let's make the problem a little simple. Let's make and as a separate line. Oh, sorry. Let's do this. When I put only one letter in one line, then can I know how many lines do I need?
How many lines do we need?
Four.
4. Why do I need 4?
Four words.
Because there are 4 words. Absolutely. So if I use this message, then do I know how many lines I need to write?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? And I can just start with slowly because that is my last word, and I know I'll align my text accordingly. Or even if I start with drive, I know I need to leave a space for one line and I can draw it, right? So to calculate the number of words, what do I need to do?
Lines.
Sorry?
Count the words as lines.
Count the number of lines, yeah. So let's say if I ask you to write a program for that, and do you know what block will I use to store this this string? If I have to store don't drink and drive and then divide it in the different lines, what block do I use for that?
Same block.
Sorry? Which block?
You said the say block.
The say block, okay. So let's say if I do that, then how do I count the number of lines in this? How many lines do I need for don't drink and drive?
4.
Yeah, but how do I know that?
You have 4 different words.
Yeah, but how would my program know that? So I know it that it's going to be 4. So how do I make sure my program knows it?
You just use the list.
What's that, Abraham?
Use the list block.
Real loud, real loud.
Huh?
Real loud.
Say what?
What you just said.
Oh, you see the list block?
Yeah, actually you're jumping ahead. That's cool. That's the right answer. Absolutely. So one thing you can do is you can use variables, and you can use each letter and store it in variables, right? So you can, to write that down as don't drink and drive here, what you can do is you can create a variable for don't, you can create a variable for drive, and you can create a variable for and then drink, and then just put it in the lines, and you can draw that, right? But the problem with variables is you would not know dynamically how many letters you need. For example, in this one, you need to manually count yourself how many words you need, right? How many words are there? Your computer program is not calculating that. So you need to create that many variables. And if I change the text, if I say, okay, let's make it like drive slowly, then if you have created 4 variables in the past, you now need only 2 of them, and your 2 will be wasted, right?
Yes.
Or if I start with variable 1 says drive, and then second one for slowly, and if I have to now fit in the text of don't drink and drive, I have to create 2 more. It's not dynamically adjusting to my requirements, right? It's not dynamically adjusting the length. So did Abraham say or Guillermo say it's supposed to be list? Abraham, cool. So in this you can actually solve this problem by using lists. So list is what? It's a dynamic way of storing the variables, like you can have two variables, drive and slowly, be created. Here you can store the same values as drive. With this, you see this right arrow, you can add another variable, say, or you can use the left arrow to delete one, and you can simply change it and then create another one, and then create another one, and the last one, drive. So you create so many variables, and whatever your string is, it will fit in dynamically. Okay, so your length of string does not matter. Your length of string can fit in whatever the length of your string is. It can just, fit in the list variable, and you don't need to create separate variables for that. Any questions on that? No. Okay. So tomorrow we will go ahead and we will do a lab on this. But for today, for whatever time we have, another 19 minutes left. So continue working on your Pong game and finish that if you have anything left for that.